You're now listening to episode 95 of Signed In, an Xbox 360 podcast, recorded on June 10th, 2012. Find us online at signedinpodcast.com. Welcome back to Signed In. I am Jeremy Superpro 33.
I'm Craig Professor.
And I'm John Jonix.
We're not singing this shit. This whole episode
It's like the opening to like a cartoon version of us.
This is the all-musical episode of Signed In.
Wait.
No, I was just making a theme song. Come on.
Oh, all right. So we're not going to be singing, dancing?
No.
Nothing?
Dancing always.
Well, yeah, I'm doing that right now.
We do. Everybody should know we do an interpretive dance of every episode.
Well, you know, I'm still working on my Dance Central 2 scores, and I can't stop for the show.
Right.
So
You keep moving.
yeah,
Oh, that's funny.
And I'm...
got my little short shorts on.
You do. You do. And I appreciate you at least putting on shorts this week.
At least you bedazzled them, too. It was pretty nice.
Those aren't bedazzled.
The Kinect catches it easier that way.
Those are actually... I don't know. I can go on for that
He
for
says, "Oh,
days. I'm not going to
disco
bother
ball."
with that. Disco balls.
Oh.
Oh. I don't know what's happening anymore. All right. So how are you guys doing other than that?
Hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, with the disco shorts and everything.
Yeah, hot. Didn't get much in this week. Or in last week. So,
Me either.
So there's been two.
So, I know.
It felt like it was only
Yeah,
1 week.
it felt like I got
reason.
about a week of gaming
I
in.
know.
So, not much for me on this front.
Well,
Couple disc
I guess
games.
I can't say I didn't play much. I didn't play much new stuff.
There you go.
I played a ton of Max Payne 3.
I think that's the same boat we're in because we played a ton of Dragons Dogma.
Dogma. Dragma.
Dogman's Dragma.
Dogman's Job.
Dragon Chode.
No, I don't want
what
to play
that
that dragon game.
You do want to play it.
I do, actually.
Dragon Dogma.
If it's Dragon
Stop making
Chud.
Dogma a euphemism. Dragging it around.
I am. I have to. It's my burden.
That's when a dog is a real short dog, has a real big dick, and it drags. No.
Wow, that just
No?
What?
that went a little too extreme.
I didn't expect it to go in that direction.
I'm sorry.
I did.
I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on.
I know why. It's the heat again.
It is the heat. And
So.
the fact that I've been...
It is hot. Are you gonna do that every time?
I want-
Anytime that there's a reference to heat this
I
episode,
plan to make this more like a morning radio show.
do you a zoo radio?
Incrementally. I don't want to jar the listeners by doing it all at once.
You know what you could do is you could
Next
also,
week will be the
yeah.
Oh, man.
air horns.
I love that.
If you could get like a sizzle noise every time we say hot, if you could just play the sizzle noise, so it's like. I do want anytime we mention heat, the rest of the next 2 hours, next hour and a half, whatever this ends up being. If we say heat, I want you saying hot like that. Yes, thank you.
Now Sean's stealing my bit.
I won't steal it. You were busy. I was
just
like,
did.
I'm not stealing nothing. How do we,
All
you
right.
guys, it's radio.
It's not radio.
Yeah, it's radio.
Pseudo
It's
radio.
pseudo radio.
There it is.
And the thing about it
promotion.
is they could have thought that was Craig again. But no, you guys have to call it out as I did it. But really, it wasn't even me.
How the fuck did we even get to the point we're at right now? I don't even know what's happening.
Oh, that's true.
I might be having a stroke.
What podcast
Would that
is
be
this?
because it's hot?
No, you did it wrong.
A heat stroke.
If I would have said heat stroke, it would have worked.
I was making the connection for you.
This might be the worst episode we've ever done.
I think it would probably be the best.
We
actually,
do have some games to talk about, though.
as I sweat profusely.
That is true. I'm actually not going to inundate the listeners with my Max Payne 3 talk
Okay.
because we are planning on doing a private chat for
Yes,
that
we
coming
are.
up.
Yeah.
Hills
So
to-
that'll be
yeah.
coming in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Handful of weeks. Not
Yes.
Maybe not couple.
We don't have a schedule set yet, but it will be coming down the pike.
Yes.
Nice.
And it will be awesome,
Yes.
I guess. But I also played a couple
cut
games.
yourself down.
Well, I always do. But I played some Inversion as well, which is a disc
Okay.
release that came out in the this last week, I believe.
Yeah, I've
so
seen a few things about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I have a few things to say about it. And E3 happened last
That's
week,
right.
so we'll have a little quick roundtable discussion about some of the stuff we saw at E3 that was interesting to us. Some of the
Yeah.
stuff maybe we're looking forward to. Some of the stuff that I kind of have a question about, but we'll see.
I'm looking forward to Azura's Wrath.
What? No.
I just wanted to say it for the show. We can move on.
All right.
That was the one E3
Twisting that
thing.
knife a little
So let's just jump in then to E3, since that just happened this last week.
That just happened?
It just happened. And
Are we on the cutting edge of news here?
We
right
are.
now?
No, the only time that we actually probably give a shit about news or look at anything news related or
Got
are
a
up
good
on top
point.
of anything, and even so, I'm probably still not up on top of anything.
No. You're not.
But this is really the only time of the year that I kind of look at things that are coming out, or as
Yeah.
far as like seeing things in advance, because normally I kind of let it arrive and then I get all excited about it, or I try to, because I'm a big baby.
Yes.
Everybody
Right.
knows that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there was a lot of
See, I'm showing you how bad I am at it.
you're terrible at it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna really ruin it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
The phenomenal bit that it is, it's gonna be ruined by the time it comes up.
Okay.
If it doesn't happen, it just doesn't happen.
All right.
Don't force it.
Okay.
All right, come on. Hey, baby.
Oh.
Don't force it.
Don't use that tone with me.
In public.
No.
All right, so E3.
Not on a private forum.
E3, there was a ton, maybe not so much ton of announcements as far as the Microsoft press conference goes, because I
Yeah.
suffered through that whole thing, and there really wasn't a lot that I cared about. But, it's to be expected. They're going to highlight whatever they have exclusives for or whatever is exclusive to them, so that makes sense. But there was still a lot of other game information that was released during the show. One thing that I wasn't expecting that kind of came out of nowhere, which I guess we knew was coming, but I didn't know it was ready yet, to see some information on was Dead Space 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Well, there have been a couple leaks of
Because I didn't see anything.
air quotes here, leaks of pictures of Dead Space 3 like the week before E3 or whatnot. Yeah. So there's going to be co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my point with that. I can't think of a worse game I want, like a less game I want co-op experience with
Why is that?
than because Dead Space is such a solitary excluding
Oh, yeah.
moment,
Yeah.
gameplay moment, experience that I don't want a buddy there and
Right. No, it's
it will be funny.
It's
fun
going to be
sometimes.
it's going to be less scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a lot of people would argue that the scares were more of jolts anyway.
Yeah, maybe.
There is tension, but
And it might be, but I just it's the aloneness of that game. And I guess that in Dead Space 2 they amped it up a little more with you had some interactions
and you had a voice.
Yeah.
You had a voice and you had more interactions with other people,
Right.
and so it was a less lonely experience.
Right, and they actually did a nice job of kind of creating a world there as well. So, but definitely upping the profanity quotient
I'm sure.
on that. Did you not
I
see
saw
the
a couple
video?
of the playthroughs,
Yeah.
or some of the playing
Yeah.
video, and it was them nonstop swearing.
Yes, basically.
I think it was actually at the stuff I saw was just from the EA press conference.
Yeah,
I think,
where they were
they
fighting
were
that
showing
big drill
it.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
and it was nonstop beefing,
yeah, basically,
like dropping out the audio.
basically. No, was the audio?
Well,
dropping?
it depends on where you watched it.
Yeah,
Because some of the places was not showing.
I got it.
So,
No, I got to hear it. Oh yeah.
oh yeah, all the fucks. Is that it?
Yes.
I don't know. Heat.
I like the look of it.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, it still looked great. And, I think about, the multiplayer. I didn't ever really play the multiplayer.
Yeah.
So, obviously, co-op to me is more... and it's going to be more important than multiplayer, and I'm sure it'll still have multiplayer.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
they'll
didn't-
refine it, make it a little better this time around,
Yeah.
because I didn't enjoy
Right.
what was going on there, which is
I
why I never
forgot I
went back
even
to
played
it.
the
so.
game, to be honest with you.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to that.
Private chat with us.
I know.
I saw some stuff on Aliens Colonial Marines, finally. They're showing some footage for that stuff. So that's coming.
I gave
It's
up
been
on
on
that.
your looking forward to list for 3 years.
That's right.
Ever
Not-
since we
not this
started
year.
doing the show.
Yeah, that's the
Well, it's
thing.
not till next year.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
You can include
That's what I
it.
mean. At the end of the year, it's not going to be on there.
2014.
You shouldn't.
I'm going to be like, fuck those guys.
Fuck it. I waited and waited. I got
And now it's
nothing.
here,
Looks
and they're a total sellout.
looks good. Don't you think? Did you see anything on it? Did you guys see anything?
I
Yeah.
saw a bit of stuff, but I think it was pre-E3.
Okay.
E3 stuff.
I mean, it looks entertaining.
Screw
It looks
this E3 stuff. I'm just going to call it EEE.
EEE. You should.
Ian.
I saw some
It's
pre-EEE
easier.
stuff.
EEE.
No, pre-EEE.
I like that.
That's my favorite. And speaking of Gearbox, Borderlands 2 is being shown
Yeah.
as well.
Yes.
It looks a little tightened up. Like, I always liked their graphic style before.
Yeah.
That cel-shaded stuff, but it looks even more smooth. And I like that they're going into a lot of the cities, it looks like. More of the cityscape kind of stuff and not just the wasteland
Character
areas.
designs. The new characters look pretty sweet and tight, and them boasting the gun thing was pretty nice. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, I saw them doing, that it has more guns.
It has every gun that every game that Xbox ever had,
Including
Borderlands. Yeah,
when they were talking about how it had more guns than whatever.
yeah.
So, yeah, lots of guns again.
And the screenshots and some of the gameplay looks freaking awesome for that game. And that's a game I haven't finished, but put a lot of playtime in. So
Yeah.
Oh, man. this week is the end of that sale for all the DLC. I'm still missing 2 of them.
For Borderlands?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I think I have
Armory
everything.
and the Revolution.
Yeah.
I think I have everything, but
I mean,
I don't know if you can believe this, but I didn't play it all.
What?
I know.
we're beside ourselves.
I know. Newsflash.
Well, besides Sean.
We literally all are beside ourselves.
Yes. As a collective.
Did you guys see anything? Did you see anything else that you thought was interesting at all?
Gears of War.
Yeah.
Oh, the prequel.
I'm just
Who's doing that?
Judgment, is that it?
Judgment. Yeah.
Remedy? No, who's working on that?
Well, it's still just Epic. I
Yeah.
think.
No, there's another company in there.
There might
Oh,
be
it's
some,
People Can Fly,
People
yeah,
Can Fly.
people-
That's
yeah,
what it is.
yeah.
which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
The Bulletstorm
Yeah.
folks,
Yeah.
Yes, that's what
which
it was.
is the same.
Yes.
thing.
So we got like old school, like young Baird and young Cole, and I'm looking forward to it.
Because it's all pre.
Are they going to be in diapers? Is
No,
this
that's
like
not
Gears,
Baby Gears.
Gears babies?
Now that'd be awesome.
Gears of babies.
What was that? That fucking mode they had.
Chainsawing
That mode that they had on
Locust
Gears
too.
of Wars where everybody was little miniaturized.
Yeah, and then
they
they
all
had
had their kid voices.
Yeah.
It was one of the things they did for one of the weekends of the
Sure,
multiplayer,
yeah.
and that was awesome.
That's pretty fun.
The giant headed,
Yeah.
bobblehead,
Bobblehead. Yeah.
so bobblehead Cole, and he has kid voice. Oh yeah, man!
Looking
Woo!
forward to that. You pointed out the new trailer for Transformers: Fall of Cybertron,
yeah.
which looks pretty tight.
Oh my god!
I haven't
that's
seen
good.
the new stuff, but
the
I've
new
been
trailer
excited
for it
about
looks
that anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, looks
Yeah.
awesome.
So
Nice. Good follow up to Dark of the Moon.
yeah,
No, but a good follow up to the
I'm
other
gonna like
Transformers
it.
game.
No, whatever.
It'll be good. Did you see anything on Castlevania Lord Shadows 2?
No. What?
I didn't realize
There's a trailer that got
that's
dropped
coming
for
out
that
pretty
too.
soon, isn't it?
Yeah, the game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't even think it's this year.
Oh,
I think
really?
it might be next year,
Oh.
but I don't know for sure.
Okay. I just got confused by it.
Yeah,
for
so they're
some
doing Lord
reason.
Shadows
Okay,
too.
I got to see that.
And it looks like Alucard shows up at the end and
is
is
that
like,
the whole future type stuff.
no,
No.
it's still back. I'm sure that'll stuff be involved, but I never played any DLC for that.
Yeah.
I wonder how much stuff got addressed in that DLC. I never even really seeked it out.
Either did I.
Sought it out. Thank you.
And
Sir.
then
You're the professor.
What
not
was
me.
the other one I saw? And
I barely
just
went to school.
forgot it. That's awesome.
I don't know, but did you
Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs. I
don't
like
know
the
about
look
Watch
of
Dogs.
it, but I don't like.
Everybody's kind of going
about.
well because there's no information on it. Literally, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's not this gen.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even think it's
That's
these
not
systems.
true. No, I mean, like,
You think it is?
Everybody, the comments on Joystick were ridiculous because nobody was talking about the game. They're all just that was a PC version, and they admitted that was
Right.
being run on a
Oh,
PC.
okay.
PCs can run that high, so
Right.
it's not going to look that good on the consoles.
I see. I think that there's.
They said specifically it's not next gen. I believe. I may be wrong, but I thought I remember that.
Even if they did, I don't believe them. Because I think things are coming out next year. Like, I
Yeah.
think that the new systems are going to be announced next year. I really do.
Yeah, maybe announced.
And we'll see. But, I mean, meaning announced next year as in coming out at the end of next year.
Yeah, holiday
and
of
I
next
kind
year.
of think that that's what we're seeing with this game. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. But I kind of see it not being, like, anytime soon. I was also weird. Like, I didn't like that there was no representation from Rockstar at all for Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Where's that?
Yeah.
Like, you're not even going to talk about it?
That was a little weird.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
That makes me worried.
I want to see more of that Twisted Pixel game.
Oh, the
Motorcycle.
Motorcycle?
The Loco Psycho.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I like
Assassin
the whole
Motorcycle.
I
That's
like
what
the
call
whole
With
like
his little science logo
yeah.
on it?
Oh yeah, very cool, very cool. That always gets me excited. Anything Twisted Pixel. So
And that South Park game, like, I'm all in on that South Park game.
Oh, really?
The
I
Stick
didn't
of
see
Truth.
anything about
that
it.
looks, it's the RPG that they're doing from THQ, and it looks like an episode of South Park.
yeah,
Like, it looks amazing. So we'll see how they can. But, Matt and Trey are so involved with the game that I have 100% like faith in it.
yeah.
So
Should be a lot
at
of
least
fun.
it'll be funny. So, and then I think I saw some stuff about Darksiders 2, which I'm looking forward to. That's only a couple months now.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that because this is, again, another point where I don't follow anything until it, like, is right in front of my face, where I didn't know they were running that story. Like, I wondered what they were doing with the death aspect, but I didn't know they were running it concurrent with the first game. Like, it's basically what's happening while he is imprisoned.
Oh, really?
And locked up
Yeah.
before they let him loose, or he gets loose. So it's basically leading up to all that stuff. And so I'm wondering now if they're going to, like, segment these guys off and then do a story at the end with them all. That's a lot of games, though. So we'll see.
I'm looking forward to it though.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
I want to get the collector's edition because I'm a big nerd. I want that mask
And that's...
that I can never wear ever.
Did you see anything on that Star Wars 1313 game?
No.
Which they're not saying They're not saying the system's for that yet either, but it looks amazing. And I don't even like Star
it
Wars.
does look pretty good.
It looked crazy.
Yeah, I don't really.
It looked much darker and like
it had more of a Mass Effect feel.
definitely.
Ooh.
Yeah, but in the Star and there was a lot going on
Yeah.
in some of those scenes. It looked fantastic, but. And then I think the only other thing non-game wise that I saw that was interesting. I mean, I guess there's some dashboard updates that are coming for the Xbox. They're making a browser.
I'm a big nerd for all that kind of stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Especially for folks without computers.
Yes,
so that'll be handy.
like me.
For folks who want to watch their porn on their big TV.
Right. Oh no, he's not. We're not going to be able to use him the rest of this episode.
Oh, sorry.
Look at him.
Are you kidding me? I didn't even think about that till right now. That is so odd. Thank you, Craig.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you,
Craig.
Hot.
Oh,
No, that was right.
That's what. See, I was just reading Sean's mind. He was saying that.
thanks for bringing the heat.
Yes.
That's what he was thinking.
Sweet.
Sweet, that's your new one.
There's nothing like getting porn from all sides of the store.
Yeah,
I don't know
good.
where that was going, so I
don't
just
either.
stopped.
And then the smart glass stuff with Xbox.
Yeah.
which I guess is
I didn't follow any of that, so
it's basically just them looking, and this is kind of an interesting development for them as far as making tablets and smartphones like an extension of a controller,
Oh,
or
sure, okay.
pushing information to those
and
those
they were
devices.
already starting to do that with the last dashboard update, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't know what the connectivity was, but I know that there is stuff
something
now.
with their
For
Bing,
instance, you
whatever.
can watch things on your tablet or your smartphone, and
Yeah.
then pause it and transfer it to your Xbox and watch it from there.
I see.
But also talking about incorporating it with games. So, like, you know, in Batman, for instance, you would, in theory, be able to like use your smartphone or your iPad as like a map,
Yeah.
or like some kind of device,
Well,
kind
you
of
know-
like what the Wii U's doing with their stupid thing.
There is a little bit of that already. That Fusion Genesis game or whatever. I heard that there is an app that you can have on your phone that allows you to do things like trading and all that stuff.
Oh, really?
That connects directly to what you're playing with.
That's
So,
pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like the old days when you used to connect your Game Boy up to your GameCube,
GameCube.
and when you played Zelda.
And the
it had
e-reader,
yeah, it had the little map thing on it. Man,
yeah, the one thing it was used for. Fantastic.
it was it was still cool though.
It did. Tingle,
Yeah.
and Tingle would help you out.
Yes.
Good call.
man.
So, you know, it's interesting. I saw some stuff with Adam Sessler, who used to be on G4 and now is doing, I guess, freelance stuff. But he had, I think, a good wrap-up of the smart glass thing, because I saw a lot of people like, oh, you know, how many things do I need to have in front of me when I'm sitting here playing a game and I'm looking down at this and all this connectivity? But I think his important point was it's interesting to see that Microsoft is doing this because it's like I think his statement was 4 years ago, Microsoft would have released a peripheral of their own
Right.
that was going to do this.
True.
And so for them to recognize that people already have these, we don't need to build the shit. We
Yeah.
just need to make sure that they can work
Yeah.
is kind of a huge step forward, and
it's-
shows that they're not going to maybe necessarily make something like that for the next gen.
Right, and it's different from what the other systems are doing. The other companies
Where they're
going to
add on themselves and
Yeah.
peripheralize it. Yeah.
basically.
So I think it's a smart thing because you can have a connectivity with the things that
Right.
already people have, and, you know, it just pushes
So
that
you're
even
not
more.
competing in a market. You're
Exactly.
already in the market.
Exactly. Just by using what they have,
Yeah.
piggybacking on what they already have. So it was really smart, and I like that idea of it. But I didn't. Do you guys have anything else E3 wise? That's pretty much it. There's a lot of games that.
Halo 4, I'm really looking forward to.
You know what? Joke all you want, and I hate Halo, right?
No, but
it looked fucking awesome.
I'll have to say that
It did.
Call of Duty looked fucking cool, and I had a
you
fun.
just shoot people more. I know.
What the hell is your problem? Jesus.
I'm just a hater.
What the?
But I like Black Ops.
I understand, but
man.
I don't
So
know.
Black Ops 2. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm interested. It just, I don't know. Those all starting to look the same to me.
I know, but I like
more
the
and more.
I like the addition of just not people
I'm a
on the
hater.
ground. I like that.
Yeah.
I like being able like
Throwing you in
thrown
other things,
ships
yeah.
and being a gunner on a ship that's that kind of stuff is really sweet. Just mixing up the gameplay.
And for
So,
real, I was
Can you be a
excited.
paratrooper?
I'm sure at some point.
Oh,
And then get shot
Yeah.
by a sniper.
Yeah, and then they'll have it fade to black, and that's the character you're playing died, and they have one of those every game that they play. I think, where now ever since Modern Warfare,
yeah,
that's their new hook.
man.
But I seriously, I
Halo
did
I
think
meant
Halo,
multiplayer.
yeah, Halo
Oh, okay.
4 did look pretty. Tough.
Halo 4, I thought did look really good. Like I was excited for like that difference of it. I mean, it almost had that Mass Effect feel at that
I'm going
point.
to get your warthog on.
Going to those other planets and stuff.
And what the stuff that they had mentioned, I'm kind of excited for the Resident Evil game as well, just because it seems a little bit different from the whatever is it, Operation Orc. Yeah,
Raccoon City?
That game.
Well, that doesn't count.
I know. Well, You can't, you know, it's still Resident Evil. But
Yeah,
I like
this
the fact that you can play different characters, and it's just a little bit bigger.
It looked a little QuickTime festy, though.
A little bit.
A little odd.
So we'll see what happens. So
Hopefully they just add a bunch of QuickTimes and it still has shitty controls.
Oh, maybe it's
Even better.
Resident Evil starring Asura. That's why it's all quick timing.
Asura's evil.
They are Capcom.
I know.
true.
Why?
Maybe he'll show up.
He needs to.
And he'll be like, where am I at? Where?
And then he has to mix herbs together.
I'm going to kill you!
That's why I love Dragon's Dogma, because he mixed herbs. And I was like, man, I know how to do this. I'm like a herb guy. I don't know what those guys are called.
Herpetologist?
Apothecary.
Very nice.
Is that?
Apothecary.
Apothecary?
Yes.
Sweet. Only because I'm saying
look at you.
I've been playing Dragon's
not an
Dogma.
apothecary
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
who makes an apocalypse or something.
Apocalyptic apothecary.
Tupacathary?
Apothecary.
Yeah, it's Tupac.
This rest of the show is just us saying apothecary.
All right.
Apothecary.
You guys are fun.
All right, so that's it for E3, I guess. Is that you had to throw in the Halo 4, which I'm glad you did because I was ready to skip it, and I
know.
actually enjoyed it.
I was hating on it, and then you had to.
I like
and
the
then I'm
look.
like, well, what about this? And you're like, well, just shoot more people.
Right.
Exactly. Which you won't do in Halo.
Well, I know.
Yeah.
It's future shooting.
I
I'm
still won't be able to
definitely-
shoot at anybody. I
I'm
can't
still gonna rent
play
it.
Exactly, and then I'll hate it.
Yeah.
I'll rent it and get one achievement for 10 points and be like, I can't fucking play this game.
Love it.
Hater. All right, so that wraps up our E3, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
With more to come.
I need another Burnout game. When's that going to happen?
Well, they have their Need for Speed. Did you see anything on that? Criterion's new Need for Speed, which kind of looks like Burnout.
yeah, but
It's a little more
It was a little-
racy,
yeah.
like whatever that mode is where you would wreck everybody.
sure.
Can't remember what it is.
Yeah.
Yee.
I need that open world again.
Yeah, I know, me too.
Yep.
I agree. Burnout 2.
Electric Boogaloo. It would work.
Or Burnout Paradise 2.
And then add another island.
Just
More
do it.
paradise-ier.
More. This time.
on the moon.
This time the paradise is more seriouser. And you can be a apothecary.
Apothecary.
All right. How about we talk about some games?
Oh,
Indie games. We have some of those to talk about
I
this
got a
week?
couple.
All right,
Sweet.
me too.
I'm going to start off with A Pixel Escape by Kunga Brothers, which is 80 points. If I remember correctly, this was one of the
Probably.
candidates for last summer's indie whatever. I can't
Uprising?
Uprising. Holy shit! It's been almost a year since they did that.
The
Summer
This-
Uprising?
I know.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do a winter one,
Nope.
did they?
Uh-uh.
No. But I think that was one of the candidates, or maybe not. I
don't remember,
I know
so-
I've seen it before.
We'll say you're right.
Did you guys check this one out?
I didn't.
No.
Pixel Escape. It's a first-person platforming, jumping platformer, basically, where you are a pixel in a monitor, and you're trying to escape the monitor through a crack. And so you're trying to climb around, and then there are these other colored pixels, and depending on the color of pixel, it'll do different things, and you get to certain question mark areas, and you can tap on the glass of the monitor, and the dude at the computer will lean in and give you hints and stuff. And so it's pretty cute, and it's a pretty clever concept. However, and I liked it a lot. However, the controls with the first-person view are a little awkward. You start off in the demo, at least. I don't know if the demo is different from the full game, but you start off in the demo, and your first thing is you have to jump to like these other pixels, and if you don't, there's like this long pit, and then like these green pixels, which are acid to you essentially.
Okay.
And so then you fall down there, and you can't get back out. So you
Oh,
just
wow.
slowly die or restart the level manually. And I'm like, well, that's okay. It's just because it's a platformer, and so you have to kind of sense where you are, but the camera is a little high up or something, and I don't know, I was just having a hard time centering myself for things like the question marks and for timing jumps properly. I'm sure with more practice you could get used to it, but
Yeah.
I found that to be a stumbling block at the very beginning.
As somebody who one of my pixels is out on my big TV, so I might be a little
It escaped.
right. So I don't know if I could play it because I would not sympathize with the guy
You
who's
could
trying
find
to get
out where it went. This is its autobiography.
So I'm already angry at the guy, and I'm like, why do I want to play this guy and help him get out? Like
It's
my
his
TV that's
autobiography,
broke.
so
Maybe you have to play to get your
follow it.
pixel back.
Holy shit! That just blew my mind. I don't know what's going on.
But it's a pretty cool concept. And so you have basically these linear puzzles where you can only move like forward and backward because there's the front of the monitor, and then there's like the little projector side of it as well, and then just the pixel. So, but you have to do a lot of. You can also see like a little pixelated picture of the monitor as well, so you see yourself bouncing around, which is kind of it's kind of fun there. So I liked it. It I recommend giving it a little bit of a try because I think those controls will be a little bit difficult for some people.
Cool.
But it was a very nice game.
Nice.
Cool.
I played Battlepaths from Game Devel, and it is 240 points. It is a 2D action / hack and slash RPG, kind of in the vein of your Dragon Warrior, Zelda, side scroll, top down. Yours. A top-down RPG like that, where you're, but it's a little more cartoony looking. It's not that 8-bit graphic style. It is definitely more drawn.
Sure.
And they're a little cartoony looking, the characters and the land and the area. But you start in this town, and it is a regular RPG as far as like getting gold, getting weapons, equipping yourself, and leveling up. Getting special powers when you do level up. You can get these special attacks because there is also a hack and slash option or criteria to the game. So it works in that Zelda style too, where you don't have encounters. The creatures are walking around already. And so you come up and fight them and they come up to you.
So it kind of reminds me of those iHook games, the ones I'm talking about.
I do not.
Cursed Loot was basically the update for
yeah.
the Winter Uprising game from
they're sort of like that. It seems a little more while it is hack and slash where you go up and like are kind of just spamming your button.
Yeah.
You're attacking and then they get to attack, and it kind of seems like there's
a little more turn-based.
A little more, but it's really like I don't know.
You just have a longer
I think it
recovery.
Yeah, I think it takes you a second. You can't just spam it like 100 times.
Right.
And so you see little numbers that appear over your guy of the damage you're taking and the damage you're inflicting. And sometimes you can see them hit, but you won't have any damage taken.
That would be your
like
DPS.
They miss. Yes, correct. So sometimes you'll be able to register a miss because you'll see that they've made a hit, but you don't take any damage, or there's no number that pops up. I don't know. A couple times I got poisoned really quick because I think I went into an area I wasn't supposed to be in, and the snake bit me or something bit me, and my guy died instantly, and I'm like, well, that's not good. So I went the other way and did some stuff there. But
poison bad.
It's really well done. It seems well done for 240 points as far as the graphic style. I really like that cartoony look to it, and it seems really smooth. So I'm looking at maybe sitting down with some more time with it.
Sure,
I just got to play through the demo so far, but if you like the RPGs and that kind of style, I definitely recommend checking it out because it does have a nice polish to it. So
cool. Sweet.
Check it.
You got anything, Sean?
Not from Indy. I failed on everything this past weeks.
I got Bureau Shattered Slipper from twistedgames.com for 240 points. It's a sequel.
It is.
It's a sequel to Bureau Agent Kendall.
Agent Kendall. And you're still Agent Kendall.
That's correct.
Right?
Kendall.
You are still Kendall.
And I will say this. If you haven't heard our review of Bureau Agent Kendall, I recommend you go back. It's episode 65, and I recommend you go back and listen to it because that was a good time. I went back and listened to it.
Good time.
And I was even there, and I still had a good time when I listened to it. So check that out, then come back to this, and you can hear about the sequel.
That is correct. So the sequel runs very similar to the original in that it's a combination of slight puzzles, a little bit of guessing work, mixed in with light cover-based shooting, and a lot of 3D rendered graphics.
Yes. And it seemed a little, and I never played Agent Kendall, so the action part, did you play it, or did you just play the... Okay. So,
I didn't play the full game,
okay.
But...
Did it work like that? Because it feels like it's almost like a Dragon's Lair, like, kind of...
A little bit,
quick time thing almost, where it's like, hit this, and then you come out, and then they're telling you...
It was similar, and I don't know if that's...
It's not so much action-adventure.
I don't know if it's because it's the tutorial.
Yeah.
Or what the deal is. I think it is very simplified.
Okay.
I don't think it's a very complex
It's really like,
system.
Here's what you have to do this time.
Yeah.
I don't
know if it always pops up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I got no clue. But it's still pretty good. I actually didn't get to, because I went and watched previously on Bureau Agent Kendall. Because I wanted to know what else happened in the game.
That's awesome, bro.
That creepy dude, your partner?
Yes. Yeah.
I don't...
It's not a bad game.
She's ridiculously sexed up, though, right?
Yes, and I don't know if I talked about that on.
I don't think you did, because that was one of the things when I looked at the description, and it's like it mentions specifically like sexy agent whatever, and I'm like, oh wow,
it's ridiculous. And they take every opportunity to put her in like lingerie or
Yeah.
whatever.
She's like in
and-
super short pants
and running around, and it's kind of
and
ridiculous
huge boobs.
because it's actually
Like ridiculous.
I think it actually works against the game. Because,
Yeah, right.
Because when you see that sort of stuff in a game, you typically think, oh, well, they're compensating for something to
Right.
try and attract you to it. But it's actually not a bad game. It's fairly basic, but
That's what's funny is that I saw this demo, and at the
Exactly.
time I didn't remember the Agent Kendall game.
yeah.
So I saw
believe
the
I didn't mention
saw the screenshots, and I'm like, holy shit! I have to see how terrible this game is.
right.
So I'm like, I have to download this demo, and so I checked it out, and I started it up, and I'm like, this shit's pretty smooth, like as far as the intro that they do,
Yeah.
and the graphic style that they use,
Yep.
and it's like, wow, this is really smooth. And then it's like, why do you put it on that? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I know.
don't make that your face because it's actually done really well. I don't know. I'm
not-
sure it
not-
helps them though.
I mean, I guess it's in the same vein of like Tomb Raider in that sense.
Except even more.
Right. Well, yeah, no.
It's like even
Yeah.
the next step up.
yeah.
But
So-
you do crime solving, so you're trying to solve this mystery at
Yes.
the beginning of the game,
Right.
That there's something that happens, and then you are supposed to go back to your home and
Right.
solve the mystery,
Yeah.
like doing research,
Right.
and using your smartphone.
There's a lot of research-based stuff, and then you have to make guesses based on the research that you do.
And in the demo,
some
it's
places.
pretty straightforward. I mean,
That
it's
one
just a
is
couple
pretty
things you do.
straightforward. I think those were a few new things too, because you could do like a direct tracking, like send somebody else to go do this thing or
Okay.
whatever. I don't remember what it was.
So you do a couple things, and
I'm real good at talking.
then you
about
have to
games.
put your hypothesis together,
Yes.
which they show you a little cutscene. You kind of have to say, what did you see?
Right.
List these things, and then you have to list them in order that you saw them in as well. So it was like all about paying attention.
Yeah.
Which I thought was kind of clever, and it was nicely done.
It's a fun puzzle game. I remember the first game was very fun.
Okay. I just that
That I played.
you need
No,
to
I know, right?
lower her a
It's-
little bit. Like just chill out on the vixen aspect of it.
It needs a character creator then. Just kind of downgrade a little bit.
Yeah, they need to minimalization in some areas.
A little, okay.
She's riding a motorcycle. I don't know how she doesn't tip it over.
Barbed wire.
But here's the thing: if she did tip it over, she'd be safe.
Oh god.
Look at those fun
it
bags.
stop.
I didn't do it. I didn't make it. I'm just
Those are
describing
called
it.
airbags.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I recommend checking it out, but
Yeah.
check out the original as well.
And you can definitely tell where because they're charging $240 for it, and then they definitely worked a lot.
Yeah, presentation-wise,
on
it's really
creating
well
the
done.
cutscenes and all that. Yeah.
Cool.
I would agree.
I'm gonna have to download that one and check it out.
And check
then.
out episode 65 for our review
Yeah.
of Agent
Kendall.
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 No, Kendall.
Kendall. Maybe she's a transvestite.
Oh man.
Possibly.
Maybe it is a male
Did you get
Kendall.
more excited by that?
Well, yeah, because Ken dolls are like they're not. Those are weird. Those are like that's a totally different.
smooth.
That's a totally different human
I don't know how you're spinning
altogether.
out of this one.
It's like a eunuch.
Yes,
Yes.
which you're totally
So,
into.
so,
yeah.
so you're pleading
was
not
born a
listening
eunuch.
to the last thing that Jeremy said. Then. You were just fixated on the Ken doll part. Huh?
Right.
I like Ken doll.
We're moving forward.
Is that it for Indie?
That's it.
All right.
Because I don't want to see where this goes.
Do we have more XBLA?
Yes.
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 Let's do some XBLA then.
Let's do it. I feel like
have
we should
nothing.
have like a little stinger there or something like that.
Yeah, it's on you. You're the editor. So
That was it right there. That's what I'm doing.
that's your sizzle sound.
That's right. Hot. Sizzling is hot.
No,
Yeah, it is.
but I didn't say heat.
Hot.
Now I said it. All right, let's go.
Okay.
This
Bang,
heat is getting to us.
bang, bang racing.
Oh man. I want to hear about this game. It looked
Yes.
cool.
It's from Digital Reality. Suckers, the folks who made Cine Mora and what was that, Shadow of the Damned. Am I right? Or is that Grasshopper?
That was Grasshopper.
That was Grasshopper. I'm an
Yeah,
idiot.
that's
Sorry.
all right.
Well, that explains a lot
You know
more.
what's funny too? This is Cine Mora. That you mentioned it. It
Yeah.
made me
well,
think
Digital Reality worked on Cine Mora with
that
them,
could
right?
be. There was
Yeah.
a couple people I think.
Yeah.
So the last time we
That's
talked,
why I got 'em confused.
when I talked about Cine Mora on this show, and I was like, I'm on my moratorium of not buying any XBLA games.
Uh-huh.
And then the next like 3 shows after that, I talk about all these XBLA games I bought.
Yeah, that's
Which
part of
that's
the
funny
course.
that you mentioned. I know, but I'm a retard. Like I'm not going to buy anymore. And then I'm like, oh, I bought all these because they're on sale.
Poor Cine Mora just sitting there in the corner
I
with its
know.
head down.
Well, Bang Bang Racing by Digital Reality, not Grasshopper.
Yes.
It's 800 Microsoft points. It's a top-down... It's not a kart racer, but they're kind of like cutesy like little toy cars,
Yeah.
but they're not toy cars. Like they're supposed to be real cars, but they're kind of exaggerated. Like they got bigger wheels and they got smaller bodies.
I like the
or
ones
whatnot.
that you put the pennies in the back of.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's the ones I was
Okay.
thinking of, but I couldn't think of.
Penny
I couldn't
racers.
think of anything.
Clever title.
Or muscle riders, the ones that have the big wheels and they're just short bodies.
Marketing.
But they're all exaggerated.
Yes.
They look cartoony.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this is now, and so it's just racing, and you can choose your car. They have 3 different modes or something. One was like an elimination mode. And so you race around, and there are these little hazard barrels that have like oil or water or sand. And so if somebody's clumsy or gets bumped, then they break open, and now you have a hazard on the track. But that's about it. And so then at that point, it just kind of
I like that, though.
It just kind of encourages you to do the correct path.
Yeah.
The cleanest path through there. Anyway, but it's not a kart racer. There's no attacking or whatnot. You just have your accelerator, your brake, and a nitro, and you slowly rebuild a tiny bit of nitro when you're not using it, usually just enough to kind of push you through a turn
Yeah.
every once in a while. But if you go through the pits, then you can boost up your nitro again.
Nice.
And that's pretty much it. I don't think there's online multiplayer.
Ooh.
Really?
I'm not positive. I didn't go back and check. Here's my hypothesis. Here's my detective work.
Yes. Tell me, Agent Kendall.
They really, well, they really, I don't know what she sounds like. Well, they really, really emphasize their split screen co-op
Oh, okay.
playing. Like they heavily emphasize it, and I don't remember them saying any, like to the point that there are achievements tied to playing split screen.
Okay.
But I
Wow.
don't remember
Do you think
them.
that's what they're hanging their hat on?
I don't
at that
remember
point?
them mentioning anything about online, and that's kind of flying in the face of what typically happens
Yeah.
with downloadable games.
Maybe a patch is on its way, like that Streets game happened.
That's true. That could be. But
But
you
That's interesting, though.
know,
Yeah.
it was interesting. It was kind of like for the casual. It was like a racing game for the casual player. They claimed it was deep, but the demo at least didn't demonstrate any deepness. Like
Okay.
you had 2 cars, and they had different classes of cars, and then there were 20 cars within each class. So I
Yeah.
suppose that might be a little bit of depth, but it wasn't like you were going to be able to customize them a whole heck of a lot. I don't think. And so they were advertising it as deep, but it seemed pretty straightforward. So I'm imagining it's mainly aimed more at the casual player who isn't really into like kart racing, where you can get screwed over by whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the last second.
I kind of like the idea of like hazards being there, and if somebody bumps it, then it's open
Right.
for everybody.
Well, they're
but-
pretty much always going to bump into
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
by the end of the race.
But I like that it affects everybody, and not just one
Yes.
guy gets
Yeah.
No, that's true.
the red shell at the
That
end
is
and
true.
fucks everybody over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the look of it was really cool.
It was very nice.
Yeah. I want to play it. It's on my hard drive, but
Yeah, I'm just not that big of a race player.
and I like the racing
And
games.
there were definitely differences in the cars. Holy shit! Because you only get 2 cars to choose from, and for one of them, like I would just flat out get outpaced by people straight on. But I think I had like more endurance or whatnot. So it would be like we're both in a straightaway. I'm slamming down my nitro. They're slamming down their nitro, and they're just flying past me. I'm like, oh, well, that's awesome. Then I got the
miss
car
those
with the
days.
better steering. I think I had better steering, and then I won finally
Nice.
at long last.
You got to bring the heat.
Yeah.
Hot.
There you go. That was a test.
But yeah, so it didn't bedazzle me, but I'm not that huge into racing. So if you're looking for something else that's not kart racing, I definitely think you should check this one out.
Cool.
I don't have anything XBLA that I looked at.
You didn't play all the Sega classics that got released for $10 a piece?
No, I didn't, because I have
Fuck that.
that collection
Yeah.
that I
That's
think
right.
has most of them in there.
Pretty much.
I think there's a couple things
Pretty
that
much. What was that collection? $30?
probably even less now.
I thought that was a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get that either. Did they throw some stuff in there that haven't been released yet? Like, because are they 3-packs?
Yeah.
Some of them 3-packs?
Well, the Golden
not
Axe.
all of them
The
were
Golden
three-
Axe
were
was
they all
a-
3-packs?
Yeah, the Golden
Okay.
Axe one was, and then
I guess all I saw when I looked at that was gold.
Streets of Rage or Kings of Rage or
Alex
Kings of
Kidd
Leon.
was in one of them, wasn't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
And that
So-
one had 3 different weird games to it.
So I wonder if there's anything in there that maybe it's like one of these, it wasn't in something
I guess
else, so you're supposed to buy all 3, even though you already have 2
That
of
and,
them.
Yeah.
that and Virtua Fighter. Those were pretty much the only games that came out.
Yeah, there wasn't much for XBLA.
Virtua Fighter. I hated that
Just
game.
then, oh my fucking god. The goddamn add-on section is full of songs and fucking fighting game
We doing this again?
skins. Now it's fighting game skins. 20 goddamn things. Fuck all y'all. I did figure something else
I
out
don't know
though.
why don't they fix that?
Because if you go directly to new releases, they only show you 100. If, however, you go to something else like top downloaded, they list them all, and then you can reorganize them by new releases. So
Okay, thank you.
I started doing.
But you still have to go through the
You
50
still have to
something.
fucking go through all 100 of the stuff that you don't want.
But you can sort it,
Yeah.
and it's not limiting you
Yes.
and cutting them off.
Oh
Is
man.
what you're saying.
Yes. So I can make sure I didn't miss something.
You can see beyond the 50 that are. You can see beyond the 100 that are Rock Band tracks and skins for
Well,
Virtua Fighter.
Rock Band tracks and trial songs.
Yeah, of course,
2 for each.
naturally. Well, you'll be happy to know there's only one Rock Band song next week.
In the Blitz.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. They had some falling out with like licensing, I think. So
Ooh.
there's only one
Wow.
track being released next week. So that'll only be two slots next
Sweet.
week.
Oh, makes me
I'll
sad.
be like, well, look at all these games. I didn't know Xbox had all
I mean,
this
I
stuff.
complain about it, but I mostly complain about it because they went to the trouble to make their own store.
Right.
Yep.
So yeah, it's even more wasted.
But that does make me sad, actually, that they might be slowing down on their DLC.
I don't think they are.
Oh, just
I think this is
just a hiccup week.
Yeah, I think that there's something that happened licensing wise that I think they had
A
tracks.
kink in the hose.
I
you
think
might
they
say.
had the tracks ready.
Oh,
It's just
okay.
that they're not being released now because some licensing thing came up
I see. So they had been scheduled
late in the
and
game.
stuff.
Yeah, I think
get it.
something
I get it.
happened.
I get
I don't
it.
know what it was.
get
I don't know
it.
if they've
Probably
said.
Axl Rose.
Probably. I bet they were all Paradise City and Welcome to the Jungle. I think was confirmed. And Axel's like,
I thought you said Alex Ross.
it was
Yes.
Alex Ross.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Happy
But I
Little
thought you
Trees.
said Axl Rose.
No, that's Bob
That's
Ross.
Bob Ross. We're going in
We're-
circle there.
This is called word association.
It is
We're going to find out about ourselves.
crap. This episode.
Me.
This
Wait.
episode.
In my pants.
Fire.
No, the proper answer is this shitty episode.
It's not shitty
No,
at
it's
all.
not. It's
I'm gonna
fun. I'm
listen
having
to
a
this
good time.
one like 5 different times.
Probably because you
Different
love
times.
yourself.
I do, actually. 5 different times. Not all together. I don't put 5
And in
radios
different
up
rooms.
And just,
Oh, that would be kind of cool.
yeah. I set them. I listen to this while
In
I
different
watch.
rooms, and then you get in the middle.
This isn't stereo. You
Yeah.
can surround yourself.
I live in it.
Get the effect.
Signed in.
Is it 100% stereo? Like, if are we like separated out like on one channel? Like, am I only on the right and Sean's only on the left?
You're in the center. Sean is a little more to the right.
What I'm saying
I'm a
is,
little more to the left.
could we?
I hang to the left.
You do.
Put it in your right ear.
What you could do is, if we could separate them strictly to, if we could do strictly right.
Everyone can't stop paying attention to the fact that I'm in their left.
If you could strictly do right left, then we could, whoever you don't like, you could take that earplug out.
Yeah.
And never even hear them on the show.
True.
It becomes a two-man
you can hear a
show.
little
You'll hear
bit. You
it'll
can
be
hear a
like,
little
Damn
bit.
it.
I'll be like, back
At the
here,
very least, you
background
hear
like
the
this.
echo coming into your mic.
All right. Can I record in a different room?
I would encourage that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea, actually. This is awesome.
Let's talk about games.
Skype this
again.
shit in.
We should.
We're done
No.
with XBLA, correct?
We should do video.
Because
No.
this tangent began with Sega Classics, if I remember
It did,
correctly.
and that was on you, sir. I don't have any other XBLA.
Where's Echo the
No.
Dolphin 3-pack? Didn't they put 3 of those out? I would buy that fucker. Oops.
I think
I
Echo. And talking about
all,
Echo
of
the
a sudden, all of a
Dolphin.
sudden, we're
No.
a clean show.
Oh, why
was I talking
about Echo the Dolphin?
I think Echo's on that.
That's the one moment that the kids tune in.
Yeah.
I heard Sean's going to talk about Echo the Dolphin. Let me just go straight to
Do
that
you realize
moment.
any kids that know about Echo the Dolphin that were kids when Echo the
know.
Dolphin was out are our age now?
Thus accentuate, unless they traveled through time.
I'm the
could be.
creepy guy in a van that hands
Looking
out
f-
copies of Echo
looking
the
for-
Dolphin to little kids on
for
the
their
street.
adult-
That you bought at KB.
Pedophile.
Yeah.
That were like getting discounted.
They
KB.
were still
Yeah, he picked them up when they were in the bin.
they were still $45 though.
well, probably on sale.
Freaking KB.
I think if I can be serious for a moment, I think Echo was on that collection though.
on
Oh, yeah,
on the
that
regular
Sega
play
was.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Genesis
Because I
one.
remembered how much
Or
I
the
fucking
Sonic
hate that
one.
game when I played.
So you,
Love to hate that
they
game.
can't even release that because it's already been released. But I guess they could do 2 and 3, like you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
it's a good point.
precisely.
All right,
DLC? Anyone got demos, I guess?
I got no demos.
No demos from
DLC?
this guy.
I got no DLC.
I have a little bit of DLC, but we'll move on.
Why,
We'll
what do
save
you got?
that. We'll save that for a later date. It's just Azura's Wrath,
Oh, okay.
and it was fun, awesome, kick ass.
I should mention,
Street Fighter time, excellent,
per the request of some folks, we are going to do a private chat for Azura's Wrath.
awesome.
Probably. That's another one. Probably. along with the Max
Probably.
Payne. So that'll be coming down the road
Yeah.
at some point.
Really, really enjoyed it.
You enjoyed it, though.
Yes.
Actually,
Good.
which is good because I want to talk about stuff with the 4th chapter in combination with the Lost chapter.
Yes.
And sort of a disconnect between what the two were saying, essentially. Anyway, done.
I don't know what's happening.
Well, you'll play, and then you'll be like,
Will
Exactly.
and won't you?
I will probably try to.
You sound like me. I love the probably.
I will probably.
I will probably try to.
I'll probably try to, if I can. I'd like to, but I don't know.
I sort of
Do
want
you
to
want me to
play
talk
it
totally
on
like
my
Sean?
own.
Because I can.
Do you need new clippers for those hedges?
I like to leave things open because half the time I don't know where the fuck I'm at.
I know where I'm at. I'm chilling in Arkham City. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
yeah. Yeah.
Batman Arkham City. Harley Quinn's Revenge came out at the end of May for 800 Microsoft points. It is a completely separate chapter. You access it through the menu, so you don't have to be like, where do I go to find the DLC? Because it happens after
And
the
then you
game.
get through all the Rock Band tracks.
Yes.
And then
Oh my
it's like number 105 in the add-on section.
Yes.
As of the day it came out.
Correct. No, that did take me a while. No, but I meant like like you access the game itself,
Oh, okay.
like the level, because it takes place after the story. I'm not going to spoil the story very much. Suffice it to say, Harley Quinn is upset with the outcome of the game.
Yes.
The-
Yes.
The main part of
We
the game.
did a private chat for Arkham City, right?
We did, yeah.
Should we do an add-on? Private chat? A DLC? Nobody wants to buy that.
No, that was actually on disc. Actually, if you listen very closely, if you put in a
Yes.
code while you're listening, you can listen to us talk about Harley Quinn's Revenge. But
That's awesome. Thought I have the code.
one of the you're not allowed to have it. One of the big draws for it is that you get to play as Robin through the main campaign. However, asterisks on that because you're only playing as Robin about a half the time. The other half you're Batman. So. And the other asterisk on it is it's not a whole lot different, other than Robin can't do as much as Batman can. He does have one different gadget, and he does actually have a different move. You know how you would use like the grappling hook thing to Batman would use it to pull like a dude closer to him
Yeah.
or whatnot. And if you're doing that too far out, then it was pretty much worthless. And Robin does it differently, where he shoots the grappling hook at the dude and then pulls himself towards it. So that was actually very useful for getting into battles very quickly.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He flies at them and hits them.
Yeah, it's called the zip kick or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so he can it's also kind of a combination then of the grappling hook and the
Zip line thing.
zip
he does?
line. Thank you. That was what I was trying to think of because he uses it for both purposes.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, but I mean, if you played with Robin in the challenge rooms, it's it's not a lot different than that. They had to add some coding, I guess, for him to soar around and climb buildings and all that because it all takes place in the steel mill area of Arkham City, which was my least favorite area of Arkham City, unfortunately, because there's all those fucking different levels where there will be snipers and you don't notice the sniper until... Well, then those fuckers are like... It's like, if you fail to sneak up on one of them, all of a sudden all the
Everybody
other snipers
knows.
know you're there. Like, doesn't matter how far fucking away they are.
Right,
They're
right.
like, I see you! Bam!
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, good. I have to get all the way over there. That's awesome. Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, it's not like they messed anything up. It's pretty much more Arkham City. Story-wise, it's not bad. It's
But it's not great.
I mean, it's certainly not bad.
Okay.
It's certainly not bad. It's just not
There's a pull quote there for you.
particularly exciting. I mean, it's like, it's Harley Quinn, and it makes sense that, she wouldn't be some uber powerful person or
Right.
have maybe the grandest of schemes or whatnot, but, her plan is pretty pedestrian. Not to spoil too much, but basically she kidnaps some GCPD and then holds them hostage to lure Batman into an obvious trap.
Cool.
And it pretty much goes by the numbers from that point on. And when you fight her, she's kind of like a goon with a bigger gun and more health. So, it's like it all makes sense within the Batman mythos and all
Sure,
that
yeah.
stuff. And it's kind of like when we talked about the original Arkham Asylum,
Yeah.
and talking about that final Joker battle and all that, and it's like, well, if you're working within the system and you're going to be blah blah blah, then you got to make some concessions. But I think in comparison to like the regular game where they had a lot of big surprises and some really key moments and stuff, and you got to see a lot of really powerful sorts of villains, I don't know, it was kind of a weird thing. Plus, again, not to be spoilery, but I was kind of hoping that an Easter egg from the end of the game was going to make a play.
Okay, yeah.
It doesn't. So
No.
I guess they're saving that for the
And you know why? To
Next
your
game.
point, like why wouldn't you would almost like rather have had this like be about Croc or something?
yeah,
Where you're like fighting
Yeah.
like have some kind of big battle because you're just fighting
because
Harley.
really most of the time I'm wandering around the steel mill area outside, getting shot at by every motherfucker who's got a gun, because every motherfucker's got a gun. And or I'm inside in really tight areas that makes it kind of hard for me to kind of maneuver around and sneak around on people.
Yeah.
So, it was good. It was the basic stuff. There just wasn't anything new for me.
How much was it? Did you
800 points.
800 points?
Yeah, it was
this
10
was
bucks.
$10. Wow.
It was.
But there was all voice. It had a lot
Yeah.
of voice acting and stuff in there, and yeah,
This was included on the Game of the Year edition, though,
that's
right?
correct.
Yeah.
The new edition that just came out.
Okay.
It came out at the same time, I believe.
Yeah.
I think there's like 6 achievements or whatnot. I got them all already. You can pretty much get them in one go through.
Nice.
So
Nice.
They're not too hard. Finding the balloons is a little hard. There is a collectible, but there's only 30 of them.
Okay.
So
Does Robin rock a bow staff in that game?
he does.
He does? Because I never played the challenge.
Carries one. I don't know if he rocks it.
Oh, he rocks it pretty hard.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
I didn't play it, so I'll take the word of the man who played it. Apparently, he does rock it. I stand corrected.
And if you play a little bit and then quit, and then you do your continue, then you can choose different skins for Robin. I don't know why they don't allow you to do that when you start the game.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it's extremely weird because you can be the game Robin, and it is Tim Drake, by the way.
Yeah.
Or you can be animated series Robin, or you can be Red Robin.
Oh, cool.
The animated series, like with his red and black?
Yeah.
Nice.
And Red Robin throws burgers instead of batarangs. So.
Endless fries. And the steak fries, man.
That's a stat.
You know what's funny?
And the steak
I'll tell you
fries
what's-
and
I
strawberry
tell you what's
lemonades.
absolutely retarded about myself right now. I'm sitting here going, I don't get that burger reference. I never read the Red Robin book. Like, I'm serious that happened until you said steak, like you're talking about fries, and I'm like, oh, the fucking restaurant. That was a real
This is what I
moment right
think of
there.
every time
I was sitting there going, what are you guys talking about? I didn't read that comic. I guess he worked at a burger joint? I don't.
Yes.
Flipping them and throwing them.
And then you were like, fries. And I'm like, that's what sounds like in my head.
Okay. So it's not like I was really down on it. It was, a couple hours of play, and it was good fun. And
Good.
the great thing was that it reminded me that I'm like, oh, I meant to go back and do that New Game Plus. So I'm going back and doing that.
there you go.
Sweet.
It reminded me that I still had stuff to play in Arkham City.
Nice.
So.
Cool.
And it's probably been enough time that it's still all like, you're not jumping in right away again. So
Right,
it's been
exactly.
enough time that you can go back through it and have a lot of fun with it.
Correct. Because I never play games multiple times right up.
I know you do.
Ever.
But I'm saying that doesn't that kind of get a little burnout once in a while?
It can.
Yeah. So it's
can.
you've had some break. It's nice.
I think it was a break from the challenge rooms and listening to Joker or Riddler gloat.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh yeah, brilliant plan there. Your brilliant riddle of putting a bunch of thugs in the room with me.
You're a genius. Fucking Riddler.
You totally bested me on that one.
Way to go, mastermind.
Oh, man.
All right. Are we good for DLC then?
Yes.
So now we can talk about disc games.
Do it.
Do you want to talk about any Max Payne at all, or are we going to save it all?
I think I'll save it.
Sit on it?
Like the Fonz.
Hey.
Oh.
All right. It's nice. Let's keep up all the 1970s references.
I love our references, though.
We like.
I want
we like to
references-
alienate our listeners.
I want references for our references so people know what we're talking about. All
Someone
the
needs to
youngins out
annotate
there.
our shows.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That sounds terrible.
Editor's notes.
Click on this to know what they're talking about.
Dragon's Dogma. Should we talk a little bit more about it?
We can talk a little bit.
I played some of it last time, and I played a lot more in the meantime. I spent a lot of time in it was kind of ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
I had no idea that I was going to get sucked in as much as I did.
That's good.
And it's funny because even my wife was commenting like, you normally like, so you're just playing this game for fun?
Yeah.
Like, because you're
Yeah.
like, normally I'm playing it because we have to get it, I have to do it for the show or
Right,
whatever.
right.
Sometimes some of it turns into work, which
Yeah.
we'll talk about when I talk about Inversion. Spoiler. But she's like, so you're just playing this for fun right now, right?
Yeah.
Because I was like spending like 8 hours a day playing it, like the day after we had our show last time, where there was no time crunch.
Yeah.
I was just playing it for that period of time, and it was a lot of fun. Like, I got lost in it.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me. I really didn't have much time to play games in the last couple of weeks, but that one won out big time. And I was gonna rent it twice.
Yeah.
I rented it 3 times.
Yeah.
But I fell in love with it. Just walking around, having fun, and I don't know.
Climbing on monsters.
The exploratory nature...
That part of it is just stupid fun.
The exploratory nature of the game is amazing. Because
Yeah.
when I started looking at the map and like the little area that I had covered, and I'm like, holy shit,
Yeah.
there's so much more room. I felt I was like at 10 or 12 hours, and I had barely went anywhere.
Yeah.
So I just started. I completely. Not that the story. Here's the other problem. There are some issues with the game as far as it's not the best looking. There
No.
are some technical glitches.
Sure,
it looks
yes.
kind of dated.
Little
There
bit.
is a ton of screen tearing all the time, like
there?
with the rippling.
Yeah.
I didn't care. Like I was having so much fun doing stuff that it didn't stand
Right,
out to me.
right.
Whereas and the visual presentation was never. It's not a Mass Effect. Like I'm not expecting to
Yeah.
be wowed by the visuals at every turn, so I'm okay with it. So I became this like exploratory thing where I was just going around and looking at stuff, and the story is really kind of empty, and they really don't. You do all these little missions that you can do, but none of them like feel like you're going towards this big purpose of a story or
Yeah.
like contributing to anything. So I was just like, fuck it. I couldn't even remember the last time I looked at a quest. Like it was a point where I probably played 20 hours straight without even accepting a quest,
Oh, yeah.
doing a quest. It was I want to fill in as much of this map as I can. And I was going from place to place and like trying to like get this map because the map would only reveal itself as you went. So it kind of
Yeah.
explored and filled in. And we didn't I don't know if we talked about last time when you'd run into a night kind of situation where creatures get like more powerful at night
Yeah.
or more numerous at night.
Yeah.
And you can't see very well because you do have a lantern, which was awesome.
But it runs out of oil.
I remember that from the demo.
Yeah, and I loved it. Like,
Yeah.
because it doesn't really, in the demo, doesn't really, it says it'll run out, whatever,
Right.
but, it's so short you don't have to worry about it. And it does last a long time.
It does.
And it almost makes you feel safe at that point because when it does run out, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I dumped all my stuff. And I didn't even think about
I
keeping
was
another
going
thing of
on.
oil.
I made a bunch of oil arrows. Fuck.
And now it's literally,
You're like, can I set somebody on fire?
it's like literally
This oil,
pitch
yeah.
black. And we're
It wa-
standing here in the middle of a forest.
Yes.
And I'm like, let's not move for like 8 hours because you do have to wait for the actual progression of time. You can't camp and wait.
Yeah.
You can save at an inn, but if you're in the middle of nowhere and like exploring and you don't
You're
know,
not going to turn around.
you're not because you can't. You're gonna
Oh.
die. So it became really like the adventure aspect of it became really awesome.
Yeah,
like I'm gonna
agreed.
go as far as I can before the sun starts setting. And then you would see the sun start, like you'd see shadows before you would realize it. And I'm like,
Right.
oh shit, I need to get back to that camp. And when you would come across,
You need a virtual mom calling you back home.
exactly, it was great. And I came across, I went through this forest, and I'm like, shit, it's getting dark. And I found this like monastery. There was like this church that was there,
Yeah.
and I was like, this is awesome. Like it's like getting nighttime. I'm just gonna camp out here. And then a bunch of creatures came out of the graves because there's all these zombies came out at night, and I was like, this is awesome. So I was having a blast just with that. Experiencing things for the first time, or
Yeah.
like exploring.
Yeah.
So I was getting lost into it.
I dug some of the, you run into some caverns and some underground tunnels that take you to different parts of the map, which I thought was really cool about it, that
Yes.
you just come across.
Yeah.
And that was one of those situations where I was walking and I could hear something, and of course my crew are like, oh, there's a troll in here. And I'm like, great. I'm like, will someone tell me where he's at? And then, lights went out,
Yeah.
and I couldn't refill anything. And I'm like, and this was right when I heard something, and I'm like, I can't turn around, and I'm trying to go, and watching my arrow on the map try to maneuver in the dark was insanely hard. So then I'm just like, okay, well, we've got to find something. And then I saw a light, and I'm like, we'll go down that way, and then it went into hell, and I was just like, okay. Not hell, literally.
a troll.
You walked
not-
into the troll's house.
Not hell, literally, but it was just like, and then finding these just weird rooms off to the side and just getting ambushed, and
I probably spent. There was one
So much
particular
fun.
in one of the caves. There was a troll, and I probably spent no lie, like 3 hours trying to kill the
Kill
thing.
it? Yeah.
And I would have like a 40-minute battle, and he would get down to like a fourth of his health, and he'd go into like some kind of rage thing, and they're like, he's raging. And like, I can't remember what they said he's doing.
Yeah.
But, and then it's like he was one hit killing me. Like there was nothing I could do. And I did it like, I would not give up. Like I kept doing it. And then I'm like, fuck you, I'm going around. So I went around him. And, you know, I leveled up a bunch, and I finally came back. And then when I took him down, I felt so awesome.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's one of the other problems I have with the game is there's really no idea of what level you're supposed to be doing this
Right.
stuff at.
Yeah.
So it's not like where they scale to you. I think that does happen.
A little bit, probably.
Yeah, but it's weird. I don't know if it's like there's a threshold, so it's like they're going to stay this level the entire time you're in this level range. Because sometimes I'll fight these enemies that I have a hard time with, and I come back when I'm a couple levels up and I destroy them.
Yeah.
And then I go up like a couple more levels and I run into bandits, and now I'm getting my ass kicked. So I
Yep.
don't know if I'm now at the bottom end of the next spectrum.
Sure.
You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah.
But there's really no judgment because they have a health bar, but it doesn't. You know, a multicolored health bar would, I guess, be nice to tell you kind of what level they're at.
Well, they do have the one with the 3 dots, and some don't have the
That's
dots.
true.
Some don't have the dots. So, like, that's when I'll do a long arrow shot at like a troll or a golem
and see what they
and
have.
see what happened. And then I'm like, I ain't doing that. But of course, Dippity just goes running in once I take that
You're an
first
idiot.
shot. He's
Oh,
like,
Dippity.
good no.
The pawns are awesome.
And he's too small. He gets grabbed by harpies and they drop him in the water. I made him too small because there was one
because
part
he's so light.
we're walking,
they just pick
we're
him
walking
up.
and running, you know, and I was
Yeah.
just like, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with those harpies. Let's keep moving, and I keep like hitting come to have him follow
Yeah, yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden I hear a guy go like, he's like, oh, it's got me, and I'm like, oh man, and then all of a sudden I see this arrow in the water.
Harpies are like the size of seagulls, right?
Yeah, and so like
Well, they're a little bigger.
yeah,
little
yeah,
bigger, I
but
guess.
They're people size.
Yeah. Are they that big?
a little
Yeah.
bit.
They're a little stunted looking.
I'm thinking of the snow harpies from the demo.
Okay,
Yeah.
they're kind
They
of
were
like
smaller.
that.
Well,
They're like
about
stunted
the,
people,
They're about
maybe.
the size of Dippity. I mean,
That's true. He is. It's like him with like 7-foot wings.
yeah. And so like they just dropped him in the drink, and I was like, oh man,
That's funny.
So I got to go back.
I love that though.
And then,
I could just picture him trudging out of the lake or whatever.
oh no, there was a long drop.
He dies.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, I'm drenched. And then all of a sudden a red skull popped up, and I'm like, you're dead.
Because he's dead.
Because I was like, how did you get drenched? I'm like, we're not even, and I'm like, holy shit, we're right by the water. I'm like, there wasn't no, like, it wasn't raining, there was no river.
I like that this is their assassination ploy. They're just gonna pick him up and drop him.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
And
hey
trolls
guys,
will
hey
eat-
guys, go watch this.
Yeah.
This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, the trolls eating people.
Trolls will eat people.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
and that's a one-hit kill. Like,
Yeah.
if they bite you enough, that was like the Cyclops guys would pick you up and they'd bite you to
Yeah,
death,
like,
like bite your head off or
It was
whatever.
awesome.
If nobody can save you
Very
fast enough,
mythologically accurate.
it's awesome. And
Yeah.
so and that's what I like because I had a lot of friends on my friends list that were posting the pictures on Facebook and everything because you
Yeah.
can post pictures
That's
to Facebook,
really
which is
cool.
funny.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people playing it, and it seemed to me, and we've had lots of discussion on our message boards about it.
Yeah.
It seemed like everybody's kind of having similar but different experiences because it's very much like that, how you
Right.
grow your character and how you play your character.
Yeah.
But also the exploring factor is, you know, there's so much area. I think I was up to like 30 hours when I stopped playing it, and I still had a lot of areas I didn't even look at.
Yep.
And that's crazy to me. There's so much going on, and it doesn't seem like on the scale of Skyrim, but it totally is.
Yeah.
It's just a little different. And I had this epic moment where we had to chase down this griffin, which I took down, and you have to chase it to this
Awesome.
castle.
Yeah.
Did you do that?
Yeah.
That was fucking awesome.
It was really cool. It
And,
was really cool.
So you get to that castle, and it's all like kind of busted up and old.
Yeah.
And it was rickety kind of getting up, and I lost one of my pawns somewhere.
Oh, they fell, the one I was
Yeah, they fell off
two
the edge.
fell off the edge when I was doing that.
And so I was in this moment where I'm like,
Yay.
all right, we all here? Oh, wait, we're missing somebody. And I'm like, I don't see them. They must have fallen off, and I missed it.
Maybe there were harpies swooping down and
Like,
pushing him off.
well, there were harpies around there,
Yeah,
so
there
it's
were.
possible that
Yeah.
she got taken away. So I'm like, and so I was in a real like thing where, are we going to go do this, or do I want to go back and get her? Nope, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
So it was like a real moment where I had to make a decision of we're going to fight this without her or what, and we did it, and it was awesome, and it was
Yeah.
just pretty epic. And I liked it a lot.
I lost 2 on that
Yeah.
level. They just walked. Well, Dippity, I got to get him some better shoes.
Something,
A helmet.
maybe a little
He's got
taller,
a cool. He's got a horned helmet now.
maybe a slightly better sense of center of gravity,
A little bit. But
Rocks
the
in his
one
pockets.
a little higher.
the one thing I really enjoy is when I get the crew back together and then everybody's got new items.
Yeah,
from you
yeah.
guys,
Right.
from everybody else. Like, and it's just like, oh, these guys are all dope now.
Except I do want to thank $8.
Oh, I'm thanking him right now because she's on my team and she.
No,
was
I'm thanking
rocking.
him for sending back my pawn dressed as a woman,
Oh, nice.
and then like giving a comment about how she was very pretty. He's a male though, but he dressed her in a set of women's clothes or something like that. And so-
Isn't he gigantic or something?
Yeah, he's
He's
huge.
huge. Yeah, that's awesome.
He is not getting picked up by harpies.
He
It
is
would,
not.
it would be great if you made Dippity carry all your shit, and then he was too heavy, and so then the harpies would come by. To try
Oh,
to
what if
pick
you weigh him
up.
down that way?
I've been weighing him
And then
down.
they'd be like,
See, because my guy gets picked up all the time too because he's so light, and so they would grab me
Your main
and I
character?
would, yeah. So
Yeah.
they would grab me and I'd be up and I'd be like, help! But you can like, wiggle
Wiggle
your
loose.
stick around, yeah,
Yeah.
so to speak. And then they drop you because they don't want any part of that.
No.
nobody
Once
did.
you start wiggling your stick,
One
you're
other thing
like,
I want
"Oh, go
to, one other thing I want to touch back on real quick, and that was the item management, which I talked about last time, which I love in this game. It's still the best for that I've ever
I'll
seen
agree.
in an RPG.
I'll agree.
Yeah.
Being able to throw everything into a mass community and not like have to have you worry about it and have everything be accessible when you stay at the next inn is brilliant. Having you can enhance your weapons and enhance them with things that you've picked up, like other items and tools and things like that. And you can use things that are in your saved inventory, not necessarily just things you're
Yeah.
carrying around. So you can run into a weapon shop and like enhance it with things that are based out of your collection, which is fucking awesome.
Yep.
And that is so simplistic, and I love it. And I wish every RPG had that.
Yeah, because I went to enhance. And I'm like, shit, I got to put some like
Yeah.
a tooth fang or something over, and then it still did it. I was like, oh,
When you
thank
go through the enhancement, it counts everything that's in your inventory, all of your members, their inventory, and your like held inventory.
It's awesome.
So it's all a massive total, which is great, and it
Yeah.
manages it all on the fly, which I loved. So I'm going to definitely purchase the game, even though I've
Me
like
too.
already spent 30 hours into it, and that was all on rental. But I am definitely going to buy it at some point
Yeah.
because I want to play it all. And I heard people complain about DLC being on disc.
Wow, that's one of the.
And I
complain about that a lot for
and I
Capcom.
get that. I mean, I'm all for
It's-
that.
and parts-
It's shitty
Yeah,
for them to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But my point is, this game doesn't really need DLC anyway. So why are you worrying about it? Like, if you can play like 100 hours, 50 hours on this game without like even needing
Agreed.
to like look at quests,
Yeah.
don't worry about the DLC part
Yep.
so much. And I saw some of the DLC was weapons that it unlocked.
Yeah.
So of course that's going to be on the disc anyway.
right.
Mhm.
It's just giving you weapon sets, and then also here's a new quest, which are completely pointless. So don't worry about the DLC, but still play the game. Don't let that like sour you on the game.
Yeah.
Even though it's a shitty practice, it is.
You know, it's interesting because Asura's Wrath has no on DLC. They're on disc DLC.
Yeah.
Because
Really?
that shit is off. That is for certain. Cause
Yeah,
it's
'cause
all
it's
like a
huge.
gig and a half.
I know. My Xbox is like, what is going on?
I got no more room.
That is most definitely not on disc.
This is too much.
All right, so who knows? Maybe more Dragon's Dogma in the future, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty tapped out right now.
Yeah, I want to buy it. Most definitely.
Cool.
I should play it.
You should. I
Yeah.
think you would love it.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say
Wow.
that. I
How would
would.
Barry White love it, apparently.
You would love it.
Ooh, baby.
Like that?
You love that Dragon's Dogma, man.
That's in your right ear.
That came up with me.
That's in both
Whoa.
ears.
I said heat, but you couldn't hear it.
That is both
Oh,
ears.
I was
That's
talking.
how I like it. Both ears.
All right, Inversion.
Hot.
There's a little delay, but it works.
Sorry, yeah.
Inversion.
It's hot in here, so I got a little
Do you guys
slow.
know of Inversion? Do you know
No.
anything about
Yeah,
this?
it's a gravity shooter.
It is a gravity shooter.
This is a disc game?
It is
Yes.
a disc game. Namco Bandai.
Is it an E or an I?
Is an I.
with an I.
Inversion.
Not eversion.
It is not Inversion.
Inversion?
No.
Inversion.
Well, I didn't know.
Uh,
Might have been
To
a play on
invert
words.
things.
Yeah, I know.
so here's the thing with Inversion,
I'm
right?
just being dumb.
It's pretty standard. It does have a gravity element to
Yeah.
it, like a gimmick to it,
Right.
with using the gravity.
Is it third or first person?
It is third-person shooter. It is a cover shooter.
Got it.
So
So you can mess around with the cover quite a bit by.
yeah.
like,
So what happens?
Fuck you guys! Now we're on the wall.
It's one of those. It's a very cliched game.
Yeah.
As far as like story and characters and the voice acting.
Sure.
It's just really mediocre.
okay.
It's kind of boring, honestly. Like I wanted it to be kind of fun with that element of the gravity going into it,
Yeah.
and it's really just not so far.
And it's not like over the top cliche like Vanquish or something like that.
No, it's not to the point where it's become parody,
Sure.
like of the cliche, so
Yeah.
it becomes funny
Yeah.
and interesting. It's just like everybody's trying to be all tough stuff, and there's some kind of like attack on Earth, and it's overtaken by these humanoid guys. They're human, but they don't speak English. They speak some other language, and they got kind of like alien technology.
Well, then they're aliens.
They're Canadians.
Right, they are Canadians.
Okay.
From Quebec.
They're just really heavily French accents. And everybody's like, what are you even saying?
Cadalians.
But, like the main character...
Cadalians?
I got it.
I think it's...
I got it. Took me a second.
There's multiplayer aspect to this game, which I don't really know what it entails because I haven't looked into it. I think there is co-op because you are playing with another person the entire time, so I wouldn't think that there's co-op,
that would make
but I
sense.
didn't look at that either. You're playing with a partner all the time, and it's just like the banter back and forth is kind of lame, and it's not funny. It's not supposed to be funny, but they're all supposed to be like tough guys, like,
Right.
we got to do this shit,
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, really? He's going to find his kid? Yeah, I get it. So, they get locked up, and he's breaking out to go find his kid in the destroyed city. But then they add in this gravity element. So these guys that have attacked the Earth have these gravity, like a backpack, and it's like an extension on their arm, and they can basically make little pockets of gravity. And so there's a lot in this game that seems to be borrowed from many other games where you're playing through the game and you're like, oh, this looks like this game.
Yeah.
Oh, this part looks like this game. And it doesn't really dawn on you until you're doing it. So like when you're running and like running to cover and shooting, it's like it feels very Gears of War.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they even like put the camera down a little bit and shake it.
Sure.
Although the guys look a little small, they're obviously a lot smaller, and so there's that aspect. And then you do the gravity, and people are like, what you do is the main reason for the gravity is you can use it to like create a little pocket of gravity, and whatever's in that area will float. So like objects will float, like rocks or barrels or things like that. And then with the bumper button, the left bumper button, you can grab those objects once they've become airborne.
Okay.
And then, so I grabbed an object, and I'm kind of walking around, and it's in front of me, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of like Dead Space. Like where you have your TK.
Yeah.
So I'm walking around with it, and then you would throw it at things because you hit the left bumper button again. So you use it as a weapon or to break down walls. But that energy pocket, that little gravity pocket, you can use that when guys are taking cover. So they'll be in cover behind something, and you'll kind of throw one of those there. And you can either shoot it forward, or you can hold down the button, you kind of charge it up and kind of can aim with it. And you shoot a little pocket, and then they'll float in the air. And so then you can shoot them while they're floating in the air. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of like in Mass Effect when they've got those fields.
Sure.
Like whatever the quantum fields or whatever they are. And so I'm like, this is like a lot of other games in one. So it's not really...
Thus the best game.
That's how it works, I think. That's the math. I imagine that's the math that went into
Good
making
game
this.
plus good game plus good game equals the
Amazing.
best game.
I imagine that's the equation that was on the whiteboard when they were making this game. Yeah. But the end result isn't necessarily the best game. So, those elements are there, and while they're fun and they work, it just kind of feels a little flat, and like I kind of feel like I've been there before. And the shooting isn't fantastic. It's a little, it feels light. Something feels loose about the controls.
Sure.
In as far as when you take cover, and when you're aiming at people and shooting them, sometimes one bullet will take out their head, like explode it. And then sometimes it seems like it takes a couple shots, and then so it doesn't seem always exact. And sometimes it seems like headshots are really easy. Like I could understand if you're doing like a sniper rifle, but sometimes with machine guns, it's making their heads explode, and it's like with just a couple of shots. And I think I'm like, well, that's great. I got a lucky shot, but it just seemed like it was happening really random and sporadic, and not really a sense to what you're doing with your attacks or your your gunplay.
The aliens' heads are actually fruit gushers.
They might be. They're pretty human. They're a little like.
Wait. Let me ask you: was their blood deliciously fruity?
I haven't got to the point yet where you get to eat it.
Okay.
Yet.
Which I assume is coming.
Yeah,
It might
because
be
that
there.
would
Is there
be
another
the
game?
best game ever.
Is there another game that had you eat their blood? Because I would say it probably is in there. So then the other aspect, so there's two different kinds of gravity that you can play with, and that's the low gravity and high gravity. So the low gravity makes everything kind of fly up. The high gravity like crashes things down. So you change it by clicking your right stick, and it kind of like throws objects down. So if you do it like on a bridge or something, it would make it kind of fall down, for instance.
Sure.
Or like keep the guys held down. The destructibility in the game is cool.
Is that kind of like that Fracture game?
It's kind of like that's another thing that it reminded me of when I was playing
That's
it.
what
When
I
you're
was
like
thinking.
raising and
Another
lowering.
good game.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
Wait, maybe this was the bad ingredient.
It might be. It ruined everything.
Otherwise, it was perfect.
Nobody brought it up. It was not on the whiteboard, but it was there in the design.
It was sitting on the table, and they accidentally just decided to sweep everything on the table
right.
into the pot.
Because
That's how you make games in a giant kettle.
it's the thing that got accidentally included, and it changed everything.
Yeah, because there was a guy sitting there who's like, I like Fracture. And he's like, shut up. And he's like, okay. And then he was like developing it. And he's like,
seriously,
and then some night he broke in and like dropped it in.
Yeah.
Right.
Some
Awesome.
Fracture. That's
I
what
want
it
to
felt
play
like.
this game now.
It's like Weird Science.
But I will say this: there, as I was saying before, the destructibility,
We didn't hook up the doll.
the destructibility of some of the environments is kind of awesome.
Yeah.
So you are taking out bridges, and there's an opening part of the game where you're shooting these guys on a building, and you can kind of shoot the support structures of the building and the beams, and all of a sudden, like parts of the buildings are falling apart or
cool.
like collapsing
Yeah.
floors, and that stuff was neat. Now
Yeah.
I don't know how
Like
much
Red
of that.
Faction.
Yeah, exactly like Red Faction. That's what this whole game is.
Wasn't there a
You're
gravity
opening
gun?
up my
Wasn't there
eyes
a
gravity
gravity
gun?
to everything.
I think so. Or like a
Well, there was a singularity bomb.
That's
Singularity
fuck
bomb,
everything
that's
up.
right, yeah,
That's not
yeah.
in this game. That'd be cool.
whoops.
And so you are hiding behind pillars that are getting destroyed as well.
Yeah.
So the destructibility is
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
cool,
yeah.
and
That's
I like
always nice.
that.
Yeah.
So as far as I've run into that, it's been nice. There is one other aspect to the gravity as well, which is there are these vortexes that are around, and it changes the orientation of the game, and that's where
Right.
it kind of gets more interesting.
That's what I've seen mostly on the videos.
But it still kind of falls flat, and this is a little like Dark Void,
yeah,
where you would like change kind
another
of
great game.
yeah, that was totally awesome. It reminds me, we talked about those times where you were climbing up. We talked about a couple shows ago with one of those other games where you were climbing up the sides of the
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the walls or the sides of the mountains.
Correct.
And so these vortexes kind of change everything. So now you're walking on the wall or the ceiling, and it changes your perspective. But it's really the same thing. You're just, other than the perspective change, there's really no difference.
Sure.
And there are some areas that you go into that are. I hate this because there's so many things I didn't think about when I'm playing it.
Or
No,
something?
yeah, the Nyan Cat flies through, and you're like, "What the fuck?" And he's like, "No, no." Nyan Cat is not there, but he could be. I haven't gotten all the way through yet.
love
Who
it.
knows?
Jump on any mushrooms.
There are no mushrooms. There you get bigger though if you eat one.
And flowers make you throw fire.
Fireballs. There are areas where there's zero gravity, and you kind of fly through the air and have to go from like area to area. So kind of like Dead Space when you would have those areas of zero G.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to control the little bit I've done with that so far, where you use the right stick to kind of highlight something in the distance, and then once you have that thing highlighted, you hit the A button, you automatically jump to it. Now, while you're doing this, there's also guys that are shooting you, so it's kind of like a combat system. But if you're going to an object, you can't really stop yourself. So if you're getting shot by a guy, and he'll keep shooting you until you get there and can kind of like hide behind it or take cover and then like shoot back. So it's almost you die while you're in trying to get through. So you got to almost clear everybody.
You're lucky
and
those bullets aren't pushing you off course or something.
right. They should, right? Oh man, you just caught the flaw of the game. That's what's wrong with this game. The realism. So
This game was made by Girl Talk.
so it's just okay. It's a really generic experience, and there's a lot of aspects of it that, like I said, come from those other games that are reminiscent of those other games that would kind of make it like an enjoyable, or like there's a lot going on and there's a lot to this, but nothing is really added up to its potential at this point. And maybe that'll change because I am going to play through it. I think it's a pretty short experience, so I'm going to finish it out. I want to kind of see where it goes, but this is one of those ones where it feels like work at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we were talking about
I
earlier.
can't shoot as you go through the air?
I don't think that it allowed me to, but maybe I'm mistaken. But I don't think I could. I don't think I could shoot back because I was really just in the animation of going there, and like I don't think you could do anything else.
Yeah.
Once you got on there, you could shoot. But again, I could be mistaken. But nobody else that is hearing this is playing this game.
I think
So
the
they
key-
can't prove me
There's
wrong.
one. We have to have one listener.
They can't.
I think the key
might win
is
a prize.
to invert the disc in your console.
if you flip the
Try that
disc
out,
over, what if there was like a secret game?
That would be awesome.
And
That
they're
would
like,
be pretty.
Congratulations.
Here is the good game.
And then my house gets swallowed up. Like the ground.
It's actually at the end of the credits. It's like flip
flip
this
this
over.
over. You've now been inverted.
Suck it.
Your Xbox blows up.
It blows your mind. Yeah, it just
Sucker.
melts. That'd be great. That's great. I hope none of that happens. You know what else? I had one other note here on the game that is a good point. The sound effects are way too loud. Like the
Can you
talking,
adjust it?
I didn't look at it, but I don't want to lower everything. But like when they're walking, it's like
Sometimes sound effects can be separate.
Yeah.
It could be, and I haven't looked, but I don't need to affect the shooting.
Right.
But it's like the walking. So if they're tied together, it's going to be a problem because the walking is like 3 times louder than anything else in the game. So in these cutscenes, you'll have people talking, and you cannot hear the dialogue over their like walking.
Hold on. Check
will.
your sound settings too in terms of stereo settings.
Okay.
Because if it's set to the wrong sound setting, then it's trying to send signals to places that maybe aren't.
Oh, I
there.
get you. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
So that can result in wacky sound.
Yeah, like if
levels
the
like
mix
that.
is bad,
Right.
like in the center channel and things
Yeah,
like that.
it's like trying to send the vocals to a speaker that's not
It's
actually there.
quite
or
possible.
something.
So I should look, and maybe there is in settings that has like maybe surround sound that I don't have turned on or something.
Because
like
usually
that.
that stuff auto sets to whatever your Xbox is set for
Yeah.
default, but you know,
I will-
that doesn't mean it's not. Going
I will look,
to
and if
mess
there's
up.
but if there is no fix for it, if there's
Yeah.
no option for it, then there's some bad sound design choices in this game because there's just things that are like some of the sound
Sponsored
effects
by
are
a
way
shoe
too
designer,
loud.
actually.
It is. It could be. That'd be awesome if they start showing like Reeboks, like really big up close or something.
None of video game characters wear Chucks.
That's true. All right, we done.
We
I don't know what that was.
We are it.
Finished.
Done.
All right.
Put a stamp on
I
it.
don't know about you guys, but I'm it.
Signedinpodcast.com. Signedinpodcast.com. That is our website. You can find links to our Twitter, our Facebook. Where are you guys on Twitter?
Handspank.
Somewhere, I'm lost. I'm at
When you guys use it,
I'm
pull
Sean.
list.
At the pull list.
at the pull list for you.
That's right. It's like
and
a soda shop.
Sean, when everybody wants to see your glued
I'm at
check-in,
Yeah, I'm at Shonix minus
blue check-ins.
2x.
Seanx minus 2x.
Minus 2x. I'm not as
That's
dirty
a
as I
long
am
name.
on the Xbox.
I figured that was like a chromosome there. Sean YX. Like
Sean
like
X.
that Kyle YX. Sean.
Yes.
Seanx
Yes.
with 1x.
With 1x, I'm not as dirty on Twitter as I am on Xbox.
It's a
Why?
shame.
Well, I got triple X on Xbox. But
Oh,
when I'm
I thought you
on-
meant just like,
But when
what
I'm
you
on
talk
Twitter,
about.
when I'm on Twitter, I only got 1x, so I'm kind of softcore.
You're plenty of dirty in what you talk about, though, right?
Oh, I'm always dirty.
You're like Showtime.
I'm like Christina Aguilera up in this
Cinemax.
biatch.
He's like Showtime on Twitter, Cinemax on Xbox.
And HBO on IM,
I don't know what that means.
MySpace.
On text, though, because I have some text. You send me text,
Search for Sean on MySpace. Go do that now.
and the text is
You'll
more
actually
like
find me there, actually.
the texts are more like the Spice Channel.
Yes.
Okay,
Because
that works. It's close enough.
Spice Channel, is that even out anymore?
I don't know. This is like I'm going from like 1989 satellite dishes when they were like the size of vehicles in your car in your yard.
And you'd watch it.
Well,
and
you
it'd
try
be
to
all
change-
squiggly, and
yeah,
you're like,
you-
oh, I got it.
You change the satellite
Yeah.
and then catch it in the middle when it's changing, and then it would like, oh, I just think nipple.
There's a boob. I think they're having sex. It
It
sounds
might
like
have been a female.
Oh, they're doing push-ups.
Why do guys have to have nipples? Now I'll never know. I'll just pretend. Wow, I turned that into like a therapy session right
That's
there.
right.
All right. Links to our Facebook fan page, past episodes, our forums, which we'd love to hear from you over on the forums. Plenty of discussion over there. And all of the other pseudo radio shows like The Pull List and Three Die
Yarp.
Block.
Correct.
And I think you can still listen to some old out of continuities if you want to,
You know it.
which you should. There'll be a test later. And comments at signedinpodcast.com. We'd love to hear from you. If you're the other guy that played Inversion, let me
Yes.
know. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Might be something in for you. In it for you, I mean.
Apparently, Sean's working up a prize.
Who
'cause
knows?
I got nothing.
I think it deserves something.
Don't write
We'll
and lie,
figure something.
though. You have to
they're-
prove it.
No, I want a photo of you playing it.
You
I
might
want
want
the
a picture.
I want the box. I want the box. I don't want a rental box.
And make a gang sign by it,
Yeah. 2 of them.
too. All right.
I wouldn't even know which gang side it is, actually.
Next episode, I don't know. What are we going to talk
We
about?
talked about something coming up. What the hell?
Lego Batman 2 is
Lego
coming
Batman
out,
2 is
and
good.
I think
Yeah,
I'm going
Lego
to fucking
episode.
buy it.
I will.
I don't buy the Lego games so much anymore, and I'm going to buy that one.
I'm going to play some Max Payne 3
That
finally.
looks huge. You're going to play some Max Payne 3.
Finally.
I'm going to play some Azura's
miss it.
Wrath.
Finally.
I'm going to
You
finish
guys are taking
Azura's
all my
Wrath.
good games.
I know, it's awesome.
You still have my one. You can play that.
That's right.
What is that?
LA Noire.
That's it. Play that. That's a good
I will
game.
get it.
Or Bulletstorm.
or play
I played
Bulletstorm.
I
Oh,
know.
there you go then.
I'm just working on the achievement.
Lollipop Chainsaw's coming out too.
That's right.
Lollipop
Do you guys
Chainsaw.
have concern about that?
Do I have a concern about?
What is it?
Interest is what I meant. I'm drunk.
You're a cheerleader, and you fight zombies and undead things, and it is completely over the top. It's like
Grasshopper.
yes, it's from
It is.
Grasshopper manufacturer, and it's
And James Gunn.
a little bit like Wet in terms of that sort of grindhouse feel to it,
Ooh.
but tongue in cheek
Nice.
all the way, tongue through cheek.
That sounds fun, actually. I need
And
a new
James
fun
Gunn,
game.
the director, the
James
writer,
Gunn.
director. He's also involved. I think it's his game, like his story. Who did that?
and there are lots of
zombie
outfits
game.
for the cheerleader, apparently.
I'm sure that there are. It's a little sexed up. You'd love it.
I will. I'm loving it right now.
I think one is an Ash outfit, like from
I just
Evil
like
Dead.
Lollipop Chainsaw.
Yeah,
That's pretty cool.
I know you're all in.
I like
Candy
that.
sucks
You know it.
with a chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
Should we leave?
Oh, Jenna.
I'm in your left ear, right ear, left ear.
I'm in everything.
Oh, shit.
Bye, everybody.
All right, there we go. Later.
Bye. Thanks.